As per the introduction, I'm Tshediso Msibi from Postgraduate Fund Management, and my presentation will be on internal and external funding for UJ students. And I'm specifically responsible for NRF scholarships and fellowships. My colleague, Ms. Dudumbata, is responsible for both UJ internal bursaries and some external bursaries. So we have a means of communication for our calls for funding. The first one, we use the Postgraduate School website. We also use our newspapers. We use the Postgraduate School Facebook. We also sometimes use the UJ Facebook. We also communicate via Blackboard community module. We also communicate our calls through your faculties. So that's our means of communication to the students with regards to our calls. So the first funding opportunity that I would like to talk about is the UJ Merit Bursary, which one needs to have obtained 70% average from their previous degree, meaning your honors should be 70 if you're a master student to qualify for this funding opportunity. Then 70% from your master's if you're a PhD student, and those are the values there. The funding opportunity is administered by Student Finance, and the responsible people are Ms. Magdalene Honati and Ms. Yolanda Dryken. The second one will be your UJ Supervisor Linked Bursary. Every UJ registered student for Masters and PhD qualify for this funding opportunity. And the application forms are obtainable from your faculty officers. This is just a partial bursary for a registered student. It's not a lot, but it can help you go a little bit further. So it's 7.2 for full-time master student, 3.6 for part-time, 13.2 for full-time PhD student, 6.6 for part-time. And the other one is the UJ Commonwealth. It's mainly for doctoral students. And this bursary is only for students coming from Commonwealth countries other than South Africa. Then it's for PhD students, 95,000 in your first year and 80,000 for the second and third year of your PhD. And we also have the URC International. It's for all international students. SA citizens and permanent residents do not qualify. You also need 70% from your previous degree in order to qualify for this opportunity. 65,000 for masters and 95,000 for PhD. And we also have the GES 4.0 or 4IR. You need 70% still from your previous degree. It's for both, it's open for both masters and doctoral candidates. 100K for masters and 150K for PhD students. And your research interest should be aligned with the 4IR topics or problem and solutions. So all fields of study you can apply. It's not restricted to certain fields of study, but your research topic should be aligned with the 4IR topics. We recently had a URC, URC special for master students. Unfortunately, this call closed already 8th of February. You also need to have 70% average from your honors degree in order to qualify. And the second call will open sometimes in October. So the next round of call for the URC special will come in October. That will be for 2021 funding opportunity. Then the ones that I'm responsible for is NRF. So with NRF, there's two parts to it. So what I'm going to talk about here is our current processes and scholarship values. Then I'll also talk about our new funding policy. So currently we have NRF scholarships for innovation, scarce skills, DAAD, and freestandings. It's 120 at PhD level, then 90,000 at master's level, all fields of study, all nationalities can apply for this call. So for all our postgraduate funding, the call will open on the 1st of April this year for 2021 funding. And everyone is welcome to apply. We're going to have a workshop on this funding opportunity on the 21st of April this year. Then the venue will be the Postgraduate School seminar room. And our internal deadline will be the 22nd of June. So you need to make sure that you meet our internal deadline. If your application does not meet our internal deadline, you won't even have a look at it. So you should make sure that you meet the internal deadline. And for those ones of you who are in their third year of PhD and who would like to pursue a postdoctoral fellowship, the call for postdoc NRF is currently open, and our internal deadline is, I think it's the 23rd of March, and we'll have a workshop on 9 March in this same venue. I think the invitation has already been sent out. For those of you who didn't get it, the venue will be here, and it will be 9 March. Then internal closing date is 23rd of March. So we'll have an NRF person who will come and present. The postgraduate school will also present. So on our new funding policy, the NRF will pay for the total cost of study. So the current call that is coming in April is the new funding policy. So they'll either pay for a total cost of study or they'll pay for a partial cost of study. So in order to qualify for the NRF total cost of study, you should have a minimum average of 65% from your previous degree, which is your honors if you'll be pursuing your master's, and 65 from your master's if you'll be pursuing your PhD. You should also be financially needy. Your total household income should be 350,000, less than 350K per annum. So those students who are currently on NSFAS, those are the students who will qualify for the total cost of study. So NRF will use a means test that NSFAS is currently using to determine if you qualify for the total cost of study. So it will cover your tuition fee, accommodation, living allowances, study material, and the people who will qualify under the total cost of study are SA citizens and your permanent residents, financially needy student and student with disability, and exceptional achievers. If, for instance, if your household income is above 350,000, but you're an exceptional achiever with a 75% average from your previous degree, then you can also qualify for the total cost of study. But you need to be a South African in order to qualify for total cost of study. If you're a non-South African, you'll only qualify for the partial cost of study. So those who will qualify for the partial cost of study, it's SA citizens, permanent residents, and SA citizens, non-SA citizens who do not qualify for the total cost of study, but you will still need to have an average of 65%. Then your combined family household income should be, if it's above 350,000. Then for students, like I said, whose household income is above 350K, but have a 75% average, who are South Africans or permanent residents, will qualify for total cost of study as well. I hope you understand that. So at master's level, NRF will give you up to the maximum of 166,000 for total cost of study. Then for partial cost of study, up to the maximum of 100K. PhD, up to the maximum of 174K. And partial cost of study, up to the maximum of 90K per annum. So these are our contact details at Postgraduate Fund Management. It's myself and Tshediso Msibi, my colleague. Then that's the NRF website where you have to submit your application. All our applications are done online. We don't do manual applications. And this is one of the information also which you can use in order to find some available funding opportunities. And every time you submit an application, please, you have to make sure that you read and you qualify for that particular funding opportunity. And you also have to remember that application is a competitive process. You might meet the minimum eligibility criteria, but that doesn't mean that automatically you'll get the scholarship because it's a competitive process. And you also have to make sure that you stick to the internal deadlines. If you don't stick to the deadline, your application will not be reviewed in any case. Postgraduate fund management, we have an open door policy. You don't need to make an appointment to see us. You can always come at any time. And that will be the end of my presentation. Thank you.